I don't know if the quality of the mic or the quality of the microphone is really any good or better. And I guess this is just one of those streams. It, hold on. Before I get really lost in thoughts again, I think I'm making this video mostly for myself recently. And actually, myself. Initially, I do it on my phone, but it seems like YouTube has a lot of space. So why not use it? Uh, Okay, my Bluetooth connected, which is pretty weird. Let me disconnect it from my phone. Pairing. Sorry, I'm probably not speaking. Um, so I guess maybe the one thing I should start with, first of all, tonight, I have to organize my thoughts in paper if not, I literally get lost in my head. Uh, First is why the fuck am I shy? This is something that I've failed to admit to myself for a really long time, and I do wish I'd admitted it to myself sooner. You know, I've always told myself in my head, I am shy, right? And in that same head of mine, I'm like, I can come out with a cookie at any period of time. But it's been years. I'm still not out of my shell. And to other people, it might seem like the extrovert type that says whatever. But if you only got to truly know me, I would be more logical and a little bit creepy in a sense, I guess. When I do say creepy, a lot of people will be wondering why I say creepy, but firstly, let me be honest. I say creepy mainly because at some point I will be able to read what you have in your head because I usually take my time to decipher people's thoughts and behaviors usually, and I'm a little bit numb to people's emotional emotions, so I wouldn't be able to accurately guess the emotions, but the thoughts would be really accurate, which a lot of people hated when I was a kid. I often did that. It annoyed the shit out of people, obviously. I grew up at some point, just stopped doing it because people hated it. It just pissed off people. So why do it at all? And if you probably saw the cover, you think that I'm doing this to show people workout routines. If you're looking to do workouts, by the way, and you want to get arms like this, simple tip, simple tip. I'm gonna tell you, um, shoulders, back, and stretching your muscles, not tearing, stretching your muscles. A lot of people say micro tears are good. Well, of course, micro tears are probably good, but I'm not sure I've ever tried it to myself. Firstly, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get this definition right here for muscles, and you're trying to get these definitions of all the muscles here. So far, I've only made this one pop out. I'm still trying to make this one and this one. But anyways, back to the topic before I sidetracked again. You see, this is what happens when you have a brain like mine. You get distracted. So reasons I'm shy is because I should not give myself reason. I'm literally just shy. Justifying my shyness causes me or gives me another thing to hide behind. I think maybe I should start thinking that way. I should have nothing to hide behind. If I have to do something, I should just do it. New resolution: do stuff. Do stuff. Make mistakes. At least don't make dangerous mistakes. The last mistakes you want to do is go to jail. And jail for a black person doesn't sound fun in Canada. I'm not planning on going to jail at any point in time. So no criminal records for me. Do stuff, of course, safe. All right, that's safe. I'm taking notes right here. Do stuff safe, and the next is why am I single? Whew, this one a little bit hurts. It hurts. You know, it's something I've always pondered, and actually, it's not really me that pondered. I know why I'm single, obviously, because let's be honest here. I meet a lot of women which I potentially think are very nice. By the way, for reference, up till now, I've not had a girlfriend still, and it's a lonely life indeed on its own, and it really sucks not being able to confide to a person and just give them your all. But that's essentially what I want. I want to be able to give my all to someone, and apparently it doesn't work that way. Apparently, relationships are supposed to be made at the fluke, and from what I know, as a fluke is most guys will look at a lady and be like, I feel attracted to her by her physical qualities, or maybe she has beautiful face, or she has the right proportions in the right places, or maybe she has a particular trait you like, and obviously you start from that and you find more reasons to like a person. But I'll be honest, I like people for just being themselves. The majority of the time, if I can talk to someone and they're able to maintain a conversation with me for, let's say, a few seconds, I understand such an individual has a like mind. And a lot of times I go like into really profound topics and sometimes tend to deviate with my speech and get really heavy words. Uh, I've been dumbing down my sentences, which has made my speech just really terrible. And my eye contact also really sucks when I start going into like the deeper end of the discussion. And I really can't look at someone and speak. Maybe it's a psychological condition of some sort. I just hope with time I'm able to fix that. Definitely, those are like possible reasons why I'm single. Mainly because I firstly cannot maintain a conversation with any lady about any topic that requires like you to actually do research on that. Let's say, oh, have you watched this movie, or do you listen to this genre of music? I don't listen to certain genres of music, like let's say punk rock or EDM or whatever. I listen to EDM obviously, but take it EDM. Some of them are good. Some of them I really can't. My brain don't doesn't filter the music, and it really depends. Like some days you like some music, some days you don't like. Take me for example. On a normal basis, you say black people will not like country, but I will listen to country only when I want to sleep because honestly, it's relaxing music, like really relaxing. I can play country. Let's say if I'm out in a forest or if I'm out doing physical labor, it makes sense, and I'll less likely injure myself because I'm listening to the beat or trying to dance. Country just doesn't even make any of my limbs move. I'm just completely still. So I'm incapable of injuring myself when I listen to country. That's the only place time I can listen to country. But that's just one of those things that are specific, I guess. I can't relate in terms of hobbies to people at all. And everyone has like variable hobbies, and to do research on all of them and sort of relate in one of them will be difficult. Of course, I could relate in the general things such as watching basketball and NFL and listening to music trends or watching some series and memorizing some character names or just simply meeting people and petting their dogs or loving some animals. I don't love animals that way. I've killed animals as a kid and my love for them is just the animals, I guess. And I guess I can never treat an animal almost the same level as a human being. They'll always be a pet to me and they're always ration food. I don't know. It's just bear in mind here is just my past experience that has just made everything this way. And there's no convincing or no amount of convincing that can make it either otherwise because I'm someone that basically carry on my knowledge, which still brings me to my topic here why I'm single. I'm still all single because all the embodiment of that mess, I guess, past experience and the fact that I'm like super shy. I lose words in front of women generally. I'm not able to maintain a sentence appropriately or properly. Most of the time, I just end up saying the most generic thing that pops in my mind. I think at this point, it's instinct. I'm always like, "How are you? How's your day?" And I could be more inquisitive. I've watched those videos on YouTube. I've watched tips everywhere. I've watched tons of video, read tons of articles, tons of books, and they're all saying the same thing: communicate, just talk. And It may sound easy, but talk about what, relate with what, and those things require actual research. And do you like what you're researching, or are you researching for something else? Right? I'm somebody that I must do something because I want it, or I need it, or it makes like complete logical sense. If it doesn't make complete logical sense in my brain, I won't. If like a lady like loves country and she needs a boyfriend that, let's say, listens to country, and I hate country, I can never load music to a point where I don't listen to it. That's a good part about me. So you can play the music, I'll be fine. Just I won't love it as much as you do. But yeah, that's essentially my problem. I feel like if I do enter relationship, I will enter each of these roadblocks unless I meet somebody that is able to match me on a similar wavelength. But I know it's almost impossible, and I know such a thing too is also quite risky today because you're essentially describing marrying yourself, I guess. If I met a female version of me and she was black, I'll probably marry her. But I don't think there's any there might be few female versions of me. Just I either overlooked them or just never gotten to know them better. Because, like I mentioned, this brain over here just drains of all its, I'll say, logic, intelligence, whenever I just encounter any female in general, and it's a problem for me to deal with. Uh, as to making this video right now, I'm trying to make resolutions. So while I'm single, I should. I don't know what advice to give to myself. What to do to not be single? Ask a girl out. I guess that should be the most easy out. That should be the most easy way to answer it, right? Ask a girl out, and it's interesting how these things are pretty straightforward when you try to break it down to like the micro level. Watch that. Why am I single? The simple solution is I should ask a girl out. And the third thing would be I lie to myself a lot. And lie to self a lot. And I compromise for others too much. Now, these two might be a little bit weird because my compromise for others is not as much as you think. Like I don't sacrifice myself for others, but I always make time for anybody that needs me. And that is a sort of problem because let's say for example, if I had something planned in a month and let's say this month I have to get a job too. And that plan is probably going to take a couple of days. I'm going to be like, you know what? I'll postpone getting a job because I have to get to that plan. Because if I do get a new job, there's a likelihood I'll have to cancel such appointment. So I sort of always value my relationships over my career, which itself I realize is quite detrimental. Someone mentioned it, and I believe I should start putting that in focus. I should start using my time more efficiently, and I need to also stop making compromises for that. Like I did promise myself I'll go out more with friends, but at this time it seems like I'm just throwing myself under the bus this way. So I should I should essentially just, yeah, using time efficiently. There's no other way to say it, and not make compromise. Not compromise. Actually, especially I should not compromise time. I can compromise appointments, but time, that is something you never get back. You get all older. Like you might have noticed a year ago I didn't look like this, but now my mustache is kicking in. Mm, I'm so proud. This is like 2 days in, by the way. 2 days of mustache. Did I shave today? No, it was yesterday. I shaved yesterday. It's grown back. It's beautiful. Uh, and lie to self. I still can't quite put my little finger in it. which will not be this one, but uh, I think maybe I just figured this one today that I tell myself a lot of lies, you know. And one sort of lie I tell myself, like concurrently, would be all of these things in my head. Shy, why am I shy? Why am I single? Why do I make compromises for other? Obviously, I sort of tell myself these lies. And the lies don't occur from all of the questions. The lie occurs from the answers that I always tend to pick. I always tend to pick the wrong answers, just like I do during exams. During exams, they'll give me four questions, four choices. Obviously, I know A would be the perfect answer, but B seems like a plausible answer because there's a possibility of such events. And I'll start breaking it down, breaking it down, breaking it down. I'll overthink the answer and I'll choose B. A was the right answer, obviously, but B, because of some uncertainties, is also the answer. And I end up choosing B because of that uncertainty. And that has always been my problem. I tend to always pick my because answers rather than just the simple stuff. As a result, I've just constantly been telling myself the wrong answers that I needed to hear, the wrong steps, the wrong things I need to do. I also lack a lot of conviction to actually do stuff, to actually get words out of there. I believe maybe it's time I step up my game a little. I think let me get a good night rest and I'll start out to do whatever I need to do out there. And this might be weird for me to say this, but in a single day, if I met, let's say, a really pretty lady I loved, or actually not loved, a really pretty lady I seem attracted to, or I feel compelled to thinking of marriage, because that's literally what happens to my whenever I see someone I'm attracted to. First thing I think of us is getting old, having children, and getting married. I know it's a little bit weird. I overthink for like the first 4 or 5 minutes till I talk to them and I realize either their personality is shit or they're just the perfect person. That's at least to me. And so far, that is almost 70% of all the women I've met are perfect candidates, be it the smoke, they take drugs or whatever. I always find this sort of piece that's interesting about them. Like this tiny piece that if you just move it just a little bit, they become pure gold. Like pure gold. Of course, it might sound like I'm saying that trying to fix the women. Of course, not fix them. At least communicate to them, tell them about the stuff, and they would just be perfect. But it will also make them slightly unapproachable. I've met a few ladies that are just, in fact, I'll just say perfect from the get go, and actually perfect thoughts. Physical, I don't really think about physical all that so much. Usually, I'm only like, let me be honest, I'm only on the face. Yeah, nothing else. And my criteria for the face really varies. I have a bunch of faces I like a bunch, like a lot. I'll say my percentage, which is still here, 70%, 7 out of 10 of all the women I ever meet are usually very attractive, regardless of what they look like, actually. And some of them get attractive when I get to know them more. So just like it's called the halo effect. Some people get attracted the more you know them. So yeah, essentially, that's what happens to me a lot of the times. And just a few words, actually, few words are able to convince me. Um, okay, I turned this. I completely forgot what I was gonna do on this side of the paper. What was I gonna state? No, no, no. Some goal, no steps to take. No. I think I was gonna talk on what I will do tomorrow. Yeah. Firstly, firstly, I always tend to do this sort of mistake. I don't talk to any ladies at all. Like in my single day, I get a lot of glances from the ladies. I work out at the gym. I've been working out for a year now. This is my progress. So I don't know. Maybe I should pull this up, but oh, my back hurts. By the way, I did some deadlifts and that really killed me. So my progress at the gym has been fairly like it's paid off quite well. This is me flexing, by the way. I'm flexing slightly. This is me actually flexing, but relaxed arms. With relaxed arm flexed, and my back is pretty muscular. I've been working mostly my back and shoulders. So often the case I end up doing like weird exercises, and sometimes I feel like ladies just maybe I'm being paranoid. I'm very highly suspect I'm being paranoid, but I sometimes suspect ladies approach me in the gym like they work out like this close and they throw a few glances like they want me to just walk over and talk to them, but I always just feel like no, it's paranoia, very likely paranoia. Until like I literally had a friend that tapped me and was like, "Yo, like she left from that side of the gym, right? She looked like she was gonna go there, but she walked over as she saw you and she stood there." I'm like, I didn't see that. I was listening to music, right? That tends to happen, and I wouldn't even know. And even if they told me, I would still not believe it. It's just I don't believe anything I don't see, so it tends to affect my judgment in really weird ways. Yeah, as I was mentioning, it seems like these days I'm getting my res on. I need to get more muscular, and this is for my own purpose. It's not actually for any ladies in general. I was working out last year so that I look better to fit my clothes, so that I can sort of feel healthy. Because breathing last year was not easy, and also I felt completely cranky. I got headaches. I got everything was just wrong, like completely wrong. And recently, I'm tip top health. I feel like cooking more. I feel like just running around, and honestly, the looks that I'm getting this year as compared to last year are a little bit better. Because last year, this is what I got from most females, right? Like they saw no one there. That's essentially the looks that I got. This year, these are the looks I get. You see that? There's a difference. The time. And I realized maybe it's because my body is somewhat shaping to the ideal, or maybe as people call it, ear, the jungle fever, uh, which means that sort of racist, but it means that a lot of ladies here are interested in black guys, but it is what it is. But I wouldn't be able to say anything there. I don't know. I've not tried, so I don't know until I confirm it. But I don't think I'm gonna play with anybody at the moment. Let's think about it. So I need to talk to ladies. Oh, by the way, this year for my New Year's resolution, I don't think I told anyone, but one of them was to get rejected by over 100 girls, and this is purposefully, by the way, purposefully get rejected. Of course, the people in my inner friend circle, I don't want to destroy my relationships, so obviously I'm gonna try it out with girls on the outside. That's people I just meet. I don't mind destroying a relationship I've not started, so it's completely fine with me. And hopefully I don't make them feel uncomfortable. So it's I'll say I'll put some time and effort into it, just a little bit of time. Let's say 2 hours of my day, 2 hours of my lifespan in a month, and I can get rejected once every week. And no, once every week is too small. That means I'll get about 54 rejection in a year. I need to get rejected at least 70, no, 97 times. Of course, I got rejected about 3 times this year. Of course, they were all indirect, so indirect rejections are the best, by the way. It's not told to you directly, but you just feel it. Either they say something like, I got a guy, that's good. I got another guy, or they start talking to other guys and they don't even talk to you at all. Perfect. And third, you get their number. They just don't even, in fact, nothing is said. Perfect. All three, to me, are perfect rejections. And I know they're rejections, obviously. I say it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. And also, I need to be able to talk to at least no less than two girls in a day. I'm gonna make that a goal. I say girls, but that's illegal. So I'll say women. So I need to talk at least two women a day. And hopefully that will maybe boost my morale a little bit and expand my knowledge, which I seem so lacking about. Like, I literally have a friend. This dude, I sort of look up to him, goes to like any person, old, young, cripple, whatever. Bro, you can just strike up whatever conversation and bring some weird musicians or names that I've never heard before. They appear in TV shows and all the rest. I don't fucking know, but they know. My knowledge is like highly limited. I have a lot of veins. Yeah, it's summer. Well, my blood is pretty heated right now. Anyways, that's a skill I need to learn. Like going up to anybody and actually picking up their knowledge. And when he doesn't know who, just like, what is that? And they'll just give him the knowledge. And bro will actually do the research because I don't do the research. Someone tells me something, I don't do it. I forget it. And I recall like a week later, then I do it. My brain is a mess. So I'll have to develop good habits. I need to write this on the back door. Good habits. Good habits. One of which includes sleeping early, waking up early, and doing stuff early. The night has become my friend thanks to TikTok. Fucking TikTok. I deleted TikTok by the way, so everyone should. I urge you to. TikTok is bad. At least it's bad for your dopamine because there's a lot of people that'll say some stuff that agrees with you, and you'll be like, I should stay here because I keep hearing good stuff like this. For example, my stuff, I'm atheist. Another thing, or another reason why I believe I was single was because I'm atheist. That's a dumb reason because what? Almost 40% of all the ladies I know here don't even care what religion you are. In fact, I'm saying 40, 90. 90% of the ladies here, 90. The ones that are in the young category, the ones that are around my age by 7 years plus me, and all below. They don't care about your religion orientation unless they're Muslim. The other 10% is like Muslims and other religion and some strict parents, or some people that really love their parents really much and they don't want to disobey them. That's other weird percentage, and they you can tell essentially. They from the get go they're like if you try anything like just even a hello to them, they give you the side eye, and you can just know it's a no go zone, or they simply just say nothing. Uh, but I guess. And a lot of times I approach ladies in general just not for the sake of flirting. And even if I'm flirting, it's just gonna go nowhere. Let me be honest. I will not even play it in first move. I'm the sort of guy that if you lock in a room with a lady, I will literally do nothing and I'll go back home. Thumbs up. I think my friends reprimanded me for that. They're like, the fuck all the time? What is the point? That's what I tell you. What is the point of actually doing anything? Like, of course, the other part counts, but what is the point? I think my face says it all. That's pretty much what I do because I speak with my face. I'm learning how to move my eyebrows lately. I'll be able to do the wave eventually. So talk to at least two women a day. It's gonna be hard work for me because my heart rate first of all spiked to like at 90 kilometers an hour. Sorry, that's inaccurate. My heartbeat goes at 130 beats per minute an hour. Why the hell am I saying an hour? Sorry. My heart rate skyrockets to 130 and probably even to 240, or maybe actually 240 is a little bit too much. That's an exaggeration, but it just goes really high. And I'm not capable of actually forming words. And when I actually try to say anything that makes any plausible sense, the only thing that comes out is science babbage. I start talking about chemistry, chemical compounds, or start talking about school, or try to relate. And sometimes I do it subconsciously. Recently, I've been one upping the term called one up, rather than say, "Oh, really? That's interesting," and elaborate on whatever points that they're making. I usually stop them there and be like, "Oh, I also went through the same thing." Like at this point, like it's tough for me to even stop my mouth. Like often the case, I try not to one up them. Like I'm just actively trying not to one up them at all. It just happens. And I feel like it's necessary, if not the discussion is just completely silent. And 2 seconds of silence for me, by the way, like I literally recorded it and tested it just a while ago, where I stayed like, to me, I thought I stayed 10 seconds. But when I checked the recording, I stayed silent for only 2 seconds. See that? See that? And it was just like a little like heart rate test. When my heart rate spikes, apparently my perception of time becomes so marked. I start speaking too fast and I become incomprehensible. And most people go, which a lot of ladies have done recently. I start speaking, and additionally, my lips don't move as I would say as regular as other people. I look on camera right now. Probably it's moving right now because I'm thinking about it consciously, but normally I'm just that's my lips are just moving like a cartoon character from the 2000s. Pretty bad. Um, I need to avoid one-upping ladies. Like it's too much. The discussions I got was make them spill, like spill the things that make them happy. And of course, someone told me that if you let them spill the things that make them happy, you should exploit on that and constantly bring those up and essentially flood your brain with dopamine and make them feel like they're in love with you, because people often mistake dopamine for happiness, and happiness to some people will be like, if I'm happy, if he makes me happy, it means I'm in love with him. Yeah, it's dumb. I don't like using that strategy because, like someone mentioned, it's really underhanded, and only psychopaths would go that far. I'm a psychopath. It's too much. But yeah, I will never go that far at all. Of course, I will use the same strategy, but I'll make it clear that I'm not a psychopath. Like, bruh, I'm not going to the point of using your dopamine against you. I'll make you sad too. Don't worry. I'll make you really sad. We'll have good and happy time. I should stop. I should stop. My brain is lacking oxygen at this point. I'm kidding. If it lacked oxygen, I'll be dead. It's 3 a.m. in the morning, so yeah, it makes sense that I'm able to speak this much. By the way, when I lack sleep, I'm a little bit talkative like now. So I guess no more, no more, ask more. I tend to know a lot more people like within the sentences, choice of words or choice of phrases or choice of language they use. And a lot of time I spend my time like analyzing individuals that I talk to. Like let's say if I just talked to you recently, I will break down your personality. Like by the time we leave, I will break down everything you just said to me that day into ways of analyzing you and store that in my brain. A little bit creepy, but I spent like a whole good almost 30 minutes thinking about the person I just freshly discussed with, be it male or female, regardless. But most of the time for females is a little bit longer. It's a whole process trying to sort out what they just said and trying to pick out the right things to get the right clues without misunderstanding some other things. I get it. It is hectic. And also being that they're so perceptive about everything is also really tough hiding anything from any females. But a lot of time, if I'm attracted to someone, uh, I think it's pretty obvious. Like it's so obvious. I feel bad for myself. Like they know, but I'm not gonna make a move. That's the thing. They know I'm probably expect me to be like, oh, let's go on a date. But I know in my head at the same time that they're just waiting for that one instance to reject me. I'm fully aware. I'm fully aware that I'm not attractive. Uh, which is why I'm going on the whole process of trying to become attractive. Muscle is one. The second is actually working on my personality, which is working on this one right now. It's completely garbage at the moment. Uh, hopefully, if I work it out, maybe this does something. Get to know them. So I need to talk to ladies. I need to get rejected about 100 times this year. I need to talk to at least two women a day. I should stop one up being ladies, and I should get to know more ladies or know more of their thoughts and everything else, or what. In fact, knowing things in general, it's not only limited to ladies. I should also know dudes because I realize, like with my fellow male, I cannot make a lot of really. I cannot really relate. I can relate on a personal level, like psychological and everything. Let's say if we're talking about thought processes, like most men are like on the same wavelength. When there's no women around, this are men. Like if there are 10 men in the room, these are all of them. When there's no women, when one woman pops in the room, we get this divide. It's really really weird though. It just happens almost subconsciously. We have this group that I'll call women pleasers. They'll go on one side of the room. If it's just one woman, they'll isolate her and they'll be talking to her like 90% of the time. That's a women pleaser. Then was today people just commonly refer to them as simps. So they literally just go and they're talking to the lady like the whole time. We have these other people that will just stand around and listen. Like, bro, even if we're having a discussion about most men, it's more interesting because she's probably even laughing a lot louder. And what they're even discussing is probably not even like insightful in any way. It's really weird. But we have the observers, they'll stand, and we have the participants that will stand around the simp and they'll just like back and forth each other, and the lady will just be staring at them. And for a while, we'll be having an interaction that involves no information sharing, just information circulation, as I'll say, reminiscing about movies, memories, stuff. There's literally nothing new that to produce while they're discussing. I sometimes find that interaction a little bit redundant. Yeah, another reason why I'm single. I think about dumb stuff like this. I just realized. Okay, I need to write that down. Um, find it interesting, even if it's not. This is gonna be hard. My reactions are a little bit honest. When I don't find something interesting, oh, when I find something interesting. So, so, what's that about? I'm really curious, by the way. Could you remind me of? That's exactly what happens when I'm curious about something, but not really. Like if I'm not interested in me. So, I guess learn how to lie with my face. Fuck, no, I hate lying. You know what? I would say develop interest in others. Also, additionally, I also have this one weird thing I do. And this one thing is, I'll say it's a coping mechanism and it's a sort of mechanism I developed over the years. And I'll say it really helped me to control my, I'll say, impulses towards females. And I'm pretty sure like a lot of dudes will understand what I mean by impulses. I mean like just male impulses in general to females. And one of them is just thinking about your parents. But recently, I had this other one. This was like my first one that I ever used, and it was like most effective. If I wanted to lose complete interest in any woman, like any woman at all, yeah, I don't like to say this, but it has a term which I could simply search: making someone look old. I need to know the name. Process name. I guess it's distressing, but I'm not sure if there's a right term for it. But that's the first strategy I was using initially was just making people look old in general. It's helped me so far, like a lot. Let's say if I found, let's say this lady looks pretty attractive and has like this personality that's a little bit shitty, not too bad, but it's tolerable to a certain degree. But I'm like, I don't want to be interested in this lady. Like I tell myself that it's not possible either because she has a guy or she there's something else. So I tend to do like this really bad thing in my head, where first I look at their physical features. Of course, I don't stare. I don't stare at weird places. Don't. No. Nah. I'm the guy that does this. Like I'm staring over here, but I'm able to like fully observe everything around my surrounding, including like grab things around. Like I can grab this t-shirt, for example, or that camera, or my phone on the bed, but I don't really need to look at it. So essentially, that's what happens. Like my field of view is like wide, and my focus is like on really weird items. Depending, I don't need to like move my pupil for it. I guess it's benefit of having 20/20 vision. But yeah, so often I look at their physical attributes. If let's say it's a young female, she's 18 and she just developed a little bit of chub here and there, that's okay. Often the case, what I do is I look at the parents, right? I don't know, by some miracle, usually interact with them and sort of get an image of what their parent looks like, either by getting their social media or something. And if I look at their parents, mom specifically, I'm able to tell that she will inherit some traits. But if she's working out, of course, that's a variable. And if her dad is also quite skinny, that's also a variable. So I look at all those traits, I combine them and say, this is what they're going to look like. Of course, that is body shaming on the like the highest level, but that's the only way for my brain to like make them unattractive and undesirable. Because I tell myself that, let's say in the next 25 years, this person is going to look old and they're gonna look like this and they're not gonna be attractive. And it's really childish in general because love is supposed to be forever. Your interest in somebody is supposed to last a lifetime. And that's personally something like if I find this person I'm attracted to, I might never even know they're aging. Take for example my parents. I never knew they were aging at all. Like I lived with them for what? Almost all my life. And it's only after leaving them and going back again you realize that damn, they're old. That's exactly the same reaction I feel you get someone you're sharing your life with. No matter how old they get, they'll look the same as you met them. Unless somebody was to show you a picture, you would never know they've aged. That's that's I think that's hopefully what happens. But at the moment of not liking a person or when I'm not trying to do anything to a person because they're in a relationship or I feel like I have a shot but it's not gonna end well, usually I make them look older. I make them look unattractive. I don't mean older people are unattractive, by the way. Some of them are, but you know what I mean. They're not in their prime. They're not in their prime. I'm not gonna say further than that. But yeah. So I just make them look older. I make them look wrinkled, and I tell myself, forget about it. And often the case it works. Like to a certain level, I can put the person from this high of a pedestal to this low of a pedestal, and it's easy for me to talk to them. Like it's easier for me to like just say whatever bullshit, and I'm fine. But if I keep telling my head and I keep seeing the beauty that's actually there, this is how much they are in front of me. Like you cannot see it here on the screen, but they're so far high up. I'm not capable of calming my heart rate. I'm not capable of thinking properly. I'm not capable of saying the right things. So I often just lower them down in my head. And I'm like, okay, this is just a potato. I'm gonna talk to the potato. Easy. And it becomes like really easy for me. But I've got so many problems to deal with. Uh, but I guess I should get rid of that habit too, because I would say it to a certain level, it makes me really incapable of expressing I say expressing more or less compliments to people. Like I would like to tell, like I'm pretty sure nobody like from my workplace is watching this, but I would like to say all of the ladies that I work with currently are really, really, I'll not say pretty, they're beautiful. And that's a term that I usually just like say for people that make my heart rate just spike. But that's probably from my perspective because I'm pretty sure other dudes would say otherwise. But most ladies that I always see are really beautiful. The ones at my workplace, predominantly, I'm like, they are insanely beautiful. But, 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 I use numbers of factors to do something to like obviously lower my heart rate. I'm like, first, this one is a minor, it's a crime. You're gonna go to jail, right? That one just instantly lowers my heart rate. This one has a boyfriend, instantly lowers my heart rate. I'm like, I should respect all the bro. I don't want to get, oh, I don't want any drama in general. I don't want that. And I'll be like, this one is in high school, still about to make a life changing decision. I don't want to influence that. That's how I use things to escape. Or I'll be like, this other one is, actually, no, there's not a lot of excuses though, but those are pretty much it. And I wish I did otherwise though. It would be great for me. Anyways, it's almost 4 p.m., 4 a.m. I'll have to go to bed. I guess this is me disclosing all my dumbness. So much things to fix. Anyways, good night. Oh, anyways, before I go, I would say like and subscribe. But there's literally nothing you see. I post at random, and I'm not looking to monetize any of my content. So do whatever the hell you want with it. But I probably put monetization on this. I don't know. I'll leave it there. It's fine. If it earns you money in the future, that's good. But before I go, watch out this flex. This is my gains for the year. I work out most muscle in my arms, and a lot of people will be like, the definition on this looks crazy. The definition on some areas actually look pretty crazy, but that's because like when I'm fully working out, I don't do what these guys like. This is my arm at the side, by the way. So, but what most of the time I don't do what like the other people at the gym do, where they look at a workout on the cell phones and they're like, "Oh, this is a proper posture." Biology 101. First thing you should ever learn is no matter how much similar you are in race, you have some differences. Bone structure somewhere is off, a certain difference in height, a certain difference in ancestry. As human beings, we have like tons of differences in ancestry. So when I go to the gym and I'm working on my muscle, I see a workout, I do variations of that workout to see how effective they are on different muscles. And I do those variations. One of which of my variations will be I call it like the chicken wingspan stuff. I call it the chicken in general. It does look like a chicken. So I grab a weight, flat circular weight disc, hold it like this, and like this. Now this might look like the typical thing where people do this. I'm not doing this. I see a lot of people do this. This is mostly like almost working your back. What I do is this. So what he's doing is activating your tricep, activating this one. By the time you reach up here, your bicep has been activated. You go back down, same thing, tricep. You get this one, and you get this one. And it's literally all the same motion. Then when I want to relax, I go like this. And this one targets my neck over here and my back. So different variations. Then I can, if I go like this, I'm just doing nonsense. So here to avoid my legs, and here to get my back. And sometimes behind is pretty weird. Anyways, the gym is not easy. I urge you guys to all try, and hopefully, hopefully, I get to achieve all what I have to achieve. So it'll be good, but I don't really care. Bye.